The exhibition is being held because it's exactly 10 years ago that the 2008 attacks erupted. And you know, those were the worst attacks that we've seen in recent years. And you know, the exhibition is being held to remind people, you know, so people don't forget about, you know, what happened back then.
Well, I think in 2008, when the first major outbreak occurred, is that we didn't really have a sense of exactly what was going on and why there was such fury and such negative sentiment towards foreigners and immigrants. And these scenes are from Ramaphosa township on the East Rand, and it was just such a helpless thing and such a sad moment when a woman was just doing her daily chores with a baby on her back, and a wheelbarrow with empty containers to get maybe water. And it's just a scene where she's walking past this body of a man with his hand sticking out, which is believed he was a victim of xenophobic violence the night before. And it was, yeah, just a kind of incongruous and conflicting image that was very sad. And this as well happened a couple of days later in the same place, was that a woman was just so overwhelmed by all the violence that was happening around her. Shacks were being burnt, and we were just trying to get a sense of, is this going to end?
So every time since then, whenever I hear, you know, that there's rumors of fresh xenophobic attacks, I'm afraid that I'm going to see the same repetitions of the horrible things that happened in 2008 and in 2015 and so on. And that's kind of, even though I do have that feeling of dread, I'll still go and do it because I've got a responsibility to tell those stories.
I think there's still a great need for visual journalists, for photographers who go out every day and concentrate on in-depth stories and communicating stories. And I think there is this, we are saturated with so many pictures, although a lot of them scratch the surface.
I mean, these days most of us consume photography on smartphones, and we just kind of, we scroll through, and you know, we don't really, we just see a small little image, and we scroll through and we see so many of them, you know, our heads kind of just become full of images. But when you have an exhibition like this, you can really take your time. You can spend 10 minutes looking at one picture if you want, you know, looking at the small details. And I think that when you do take more time to look at pictures, you connect more, and it kind of evokes certain feelings and emotions within you personally.
Yeah, I just hope that this exhibition creates a dialogue and is a space where people can come and discuss various things around xenophobia, and hopefully these horrific things stop happening.
In this exhibition, you're looking at the faces of, you know, the perpetrators of this violence. You're looking at the faces of the victims. And when someone sees those expressions, it evokes a certain kind of emotion that isn't always present when you're just reading about statistics or issues and that kind of thing. So it really allows people to connect on a more personal level with the story. I think it's really important that we don't forget, and that we keep thinking about how we can, you know, take some sort of action to prevent these attacks and stop them from happening in future.